And we are live, I think. I looked at the last recording, and it actually cut in a few seconds after I'd started streaming, which is probably why the big guys have a nice, generous lead time, like 5-minute timer before we start. Well, that's why. This is a double tap day. This is not the first time I've streamed today. It's a very specific reason. I set up a YouTube channel to house previous streams because Twitch does delete these things after 14 days. Because I am not one of their big partners, of course. Which, whatever, gold hath its privileges. But what I don't know is whether it'll automatically happen. Like, I was able to export everything to it that I had previously done, but it's unclear to me if I have to manually export them or if it's just going to work. So, the only way really to find out is to try it, which is what this is. In doing so, incidentally, there were one or two copyright claims. One was from an early stream where I wasn't writing the music because I was focusing on layouts and stuff. So that one was whatever. But the other one was the end of my control stream. And when I looked at it, it was the song that plays at the very end, which is a cover that plays during the game. And it is technically a copyrighted song, but it is a cover, not the original. And the copyright claim explicitly says that it is because of the melody. The melody is copyrighted. And as such, if I wanted to monetize that video, I would have to pay them the advertising revenue for the entire video because of 90 seconds of the melody. We live in a society. But here we are. So anyway, that's the only one that got caught as far as I know, as far as YouTube knows. Maybe they'll hit me later, but this is why I try to go game soundtracks. While I don't plan on monetizing, I also just don't want to deal with it. So let me just check one or two things. Yep, okay, we've got the PC feeding into it. That's fine. That's good. All right. Let's see here. I don't really have a plan here, so I'm just going to wing it. You are a Martian colonist. You are a colonist. You have traveled to Mars to help settle the frontier of the newly terraformed planets. You have traveled for 6 weeks on a cramped shuttle, and it has finally touched down on the low-gravity planet. You step out of the shuttle, and the first thing you see is what appears to be an endless plain. The landscape looks like barren rock, but then again, this is Mars, and nothing could be further from the truth. Interesting. When they terraformed Mars, the landscape turned into something resembling this. Okay, give me something more specific, please. Something much more interesting. The surface was covered with plants and trees that looked as if they had been grown in pots. They went around uprooting all the plants so it would look like Mars again. The trees became natural wind turbines, and there were large solar panels that were deployed to let in the light. So while it looked like barren rock, it is in fact teeming with growth that they keep trying to suppress. The good news is now you can breathe air and farm crops and other stuff. But you're not here to be a farmer. You're here to mine the rich minerals buried beneath the plant's surface. You have chosen to be a knapsack miner. The heck is that? and now you are here to stake a claim to some mining land. You set off away from the shuttle, hoping to find some empty land and stake a claim before someone else gets there. Unfortunately, after 3 hours of searching, you find the land is taken. You need to find some unclaimed land further afield and hurriedly make your way there. Okay. You do that. Keep going. After 3 days of carefully staking your claim, you return to base and send through your information. Once it's been accepted and processed through, you can start building your home and bringing all your stuff from the shuttle. You wait in the base. You wait around in the base, biding your time and praying that your application is accepted. As you wait, you look at the vending machines and see they're offering something strange. The vending machines are selling new identities. You can buy a new background, education, and jobs history to add a bit of verisimilitude to your identity. I did not expect to have pronounced that. For a few bucks, you can have a perfect explanation for why you are here. You feed it a few Mars bucks and push a button. Taking the identity, the vending machine spits out and reading through it. Jack Carpenter, 32 years old, bachelor in planetary sciences and engineering with a mechanical... let's try that sentence again. Bachelor in planetary sciences and engineering with a minor in mechanical engineering. Skills include mechanical, electrical, software, and structural engineering, as well as piloting biology, geology, and astronomy. Wow, only a few bucks, and you're quite the Renaissance man now. This should really help with your application. You submit your new identity as an additional document and wait to hear back from the mining claim committee, I guess. You wake up the next day to hear back from the committee. Your application has been accepted. Now all you need to do is drop off a lifetime's worth of supplies and equipment, as well as yourself. You go to the bank and ask to take out a loan to cover the cost of transporting all that stuff. The bank will give you a loan, but only if you agree to pay a premium of 10% every month. This will be pretty bad since you'll need to budget, but having this loan is the only way to get a hold of the equipment you need. You reluctantly accept the terms of the loan and get scheduled for drop-off. Everything's working out well so far. You board the transport ship and ride it to your mining sites. The site that is now your home and your life's work. Unable to turn back now, you put the mine in system and watch as Mars shrinks away. No, this is not interplanetary. Get out of here. I'm on Mars. And so your life as a miner begins ... Okay, I guess that's fair. At first, everything seems normal, if brutally hard and unforgiving, as the life of a miner is known to be. But then, one day, you uncover something unusual in the field. You find an artifact Soon, more and more of these artifacts start appearing all over the mine. Each artifact looks like a metallic cube about the size of a fist. They don't seem to contain anything special on the outside, but once exposed and picked up, they begin to activate and project a 3D image of an alien being. You collect as many artifacts as possible, hoping to stack them together and complete an alien puzzle. But after days of search... Okay, come on, man. They slowly fit together, and just as you are about to reach a final piece, an unexpected problem occurs. The cavern starts to fill up with a toxic green gas. You've run out of time. Okay. Out of options, you stuff the last cube into the 3D puzzle and see what happens. The cube slips into place, and the image finishes forming. At the same time, the remaining artifacts transform into some sort of strange weapon. Platforms move into place, and a machine starts to rise up out of the ground. Okay, I'm digging it. Looks like a lot of fun, and you're just about to try out all the new toys when a familiar voice comes from the speaker system. Stop, the voice commands. As you obey automatically. Human, you have subdued my army with the power of the gems. As it is only fair, I, the Norhalt, should award you with a prize. Okay. As you raise an eyebrow, you recognize the voice. It's the voice of... the alien you spoke to. The one from your memories. I guess I've been seeing aliens in my dreams. But now it sounds a lot harsher and more machine-like than before. Your hands raise up and press against the wall. Hello, you say experimentally. I mean no harm. I only want to make first contact and maybe have an adventure. Sup, Riley? Negative, says the voice. Your survival exceeded expectations. Offensive capabilities will not be accessed. You frown at that. Clearly, the alien expected you to die from the, what was it, toxic gas? Yeah, toxic green gas, not understanding that you were wearing a rebreather, and therefore immune to gases of all kinds. This isn't off to a great start. You pick up a mining drill and attempt to breach the alien structure. You smash it against the barrier with increasing force until at last your drill breaks apart, but the barrier has not even had a single scratch on it. Well, that was a failed plan. You move on to stronger measures, taking out a stick of space dynamite and reeling out the detonator. Taking cover behind a rock, you push down the plunger and wait for the massive explosion. You don't have to wait long, but it's disappointing. The barrier holds, and the explosion does nothing but flood the tunnel with rocks and dirts. You come out of cover and catch your breath. This alien structure is for real. You ponder what you can do to get past it and retreat for the day. Reviewing your notes, I don't think that a pistol, and I'm going to assume that you mean like the Colt 1911, is going to do anything that space dynamite couldn't do. On the alien language, and looking for a clue. The next day, you decide on a new plan. Primitive communication with the barrier offers little in the way of options, but you try to get its attention by only saying things of great importance. You read off mathematical equations and pieces of relativistic theory, even though you don't understand a word of it. Maybe. I'm sure that the laser version is better, but I think I tried the mining drill and expected that one to work. Let me inside, you say, or this planet will be destroyed in a matter of hours. The barrier does not react. You're disappointed. That sounded really good in your head. Let me inside, you order, or I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow the place down. You don't think that one's quite up to your usual standard. The barrier, predictably, does not react at all. Perhaps it's too alien to understand the threat. But then, aren't you? You bust out your space pickup truck, fix the tow hook to your, what the hell is it called? To your hitch, and take off in low gear, trying to pull the alien machine out of the cavern. Unfortunately, the thing doesn't even scratch. It's clearly anchored to the ground, at least 30 feet down. Still, you're determined to get inside. Wow, AI Dungeon is just being very negative to me today. At least this session. Like, holy shit. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. All right. After some thought, you, in a huff, you pour space diesel all over it and light it on fire before retreating to a safe distance and watching it burn. It might be a Nokia. Your plan succeeds a little too well. It's not long before the entire alien invader goes up in a tremendous explosion, shaking the entire island. Island? Whatever. Okay. You've succeeded. But only in destroying the aliens. How are you going to go on an adventure? You sift through the rubble and collect all the alien technology you can find, trying to piece it together. I'm not really a car guy, so I can't really react to that. I have no idea, but I will accept your theory that Toyota trucks are unbreakable. Clearly, it was not made of a Toyota truck because I just broke the shit out of it. It's frustrating work, not to mention time-consuming. Not to mention the fact you're out of space TV. At this rate, you might burn out before you can reach the next island. Before you can reach the next... I'll just leave it there. Apparently, we're on islands. We're on Mars Islands now. It takes 3 years, but you finally succeed in building an alien emulation machine. Great, now I can play alien Nintendo games. Powered by black hole energy. Has a relatively small broadcasting radius, only about 2 miles. But who needs freedom when you've got a jetpack? You switch it on and look through the menu to see what the machine can emulate. The program options are space heroes, alien invaders, and the exciting arena death matches. You turn on the device. Welcome to Space Heroes! Comes the familiar voice of Mantis Musico Radio Space OK. You are shocked to learn that the universe's favorite DJ, Mantis Musico, is in fact an alien. But that won't stop you from playing Space Heroes. You select your warrior and get ready for the adventure for the game campaign to start. You look at your character and get a big surprise. He's you! This has to be a sign, so you start the game. Freedom dead is the wind, nevermore. Oddly, that quote sounds like it was said by... Oh, and now I'm blanking on the name. Who the fuck is that guy? Freedom dead is the wind, nevermore. Morgan Freeman. I don't have a Morgan Freeman voice, so I'm not going to get there, but... You watch the opening cutscene. The story is that a band of heroes lost the war against the evil Eternals. You know what's that like? You know what that's like. You were on the losing side in your planet. This game is probably the truest thing to real life in the universe. You find yourself hovering above a strange planet filled with exotic life. You check your quest log to find out what the game expects you to do. It's an alien emulator. I don't know how it works. It says you need to kill some evil Eternals that live on the planet. Well, you're not going to disappoint. You fly down to a swamp area filled with dangerous-looking plants. You look for the Eternals and find one hiding behind a rock. You appear behind him and say, "Gotcha!" But to your surprise, he's ready with his sword in hand. You waste no time in deflecting the blow and counterattacking. You engage in combat with the Eternal for roughly 6 hours. He seems to know a lot of different styles, but you stay one step ahead of him by mimicking what he does. After you've had enough fun playing with him, you strike him down with vicious blows. You've slain one Eternal. You check your map and count how many other Eternals there are, and you see there are 555 to go. You face greater odds. I guess you have. You check your supplies and make sure you have enough ale, space bacon, and space hash, the essentials. It takes you 14 years to finish the game. The Eternals learn from their mistakes, and it only takes longer each time. Sup, Crabbo? By the end of it, you've forgotten how to do anything else. You have no family, no friends, and no life beyond being a space hero. So it's basically like playing Counter-Strike. The game shuts off, and you find yourself at a loss. You don't know who you are anymore. You don't know anything. That isn't the game. You stagger around in shock, looking at what the world has become. The Eternals rule the galaxy, a lot like they do in the game. You make a decision. You've done all this for a reason you can't remember. Top 10 reasons to kill 556 Eternals in Martian emulated space heroes. Number 10. It's the only chance you have of regaining your true memories. 762 killed 942, 777 killed 884. Okay, it's like some sort of cipher there, and I'm just going to move on. You're beginning to like the killing too much. They all deserve to die anyway. 7 killed 664, which was a good move. He looked like he would begin to ask too many questions. I'm not sure, Crabbo. It's like the pace of multiplayer is strange when you're not on like a shared Discord, when you're not on a voice call, that sort of thing. You really need everybody like on the same pace and talking to cover the silences. Because otherwise what ends up happening is I'm just sitting here waiting for somebody to contribute, and that silence is just death. It is the most awkward silence around. Okay, what is all this numerology? I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to undo, and get rid of that, because this part was good, and then it just kind of shit the bed. So Laser 911, you were ahead of the game when it came to the numerology. You've been playing this game for a long time. You should complete it. Yields, what was it? Loss fallacy? I'm blanking, as usual. Somewhere in this screwed up game is the real world. You must get back to it. Oh, there is no Discord server. That's not happening. It's like, how many of this? There's me and you. Like, that's literally it. And we don't have anybody else who is regular enough to show up. Let's see here. The only way anyone is going to take you seriously anymore is if you kill everyone. Wow. It's a bold statement. If you don't kill 556 Eternals, no one's going to take you seriously ever again. Yeah, if I make partner for some fucked up reason, then there will absolutely be a Discord at that point, and there'll be all sorts of other things. I'll have moderators and shit. Like, it'll be a real setup. But this is not it. Man, I don't know what this is. Unless you're talking about the music. And the music is from the Blade Runner video game. There's nothing in your life that cannot be replaced. Yourself included. Killing these bastards is the only thing you've ever been any good at. And there's a reason only you can pull this off. Only you would be dumb enough to try. And the number one reason to kill 556 Eternals in a Martian emulated space heroes. The number one reason is... if you don't do this, no one will. What kind of life would that be? You slowly realize the emulator is now trying to get you to play... what's that other game? There were like 3 games it mentioned. Here we go. Alien Invaders. Alien Invaders. You accidentally accept and start a game of Alien Invaders. Arena Deathmatches is the last one. I need to remember that somehow. There's no way out of this, is there? Frighteningly, it seems as though there isn't. You have chosen to exit the game. Okay. DJ Mantis Musico applauds. Congratulations. You've beaten the game. The only way to win was not to play. Almost like that other movie. You realize the cover of the machine is opened. You can freely walk out of the machine. You stumble out of the machine, blinking at the harsh light of the real world. You've been in there for 15 years. What did I win? You ask. All your problems are solved. It's a good day, Musico replies. What do you want to do now? What is your fascination with the PS3? Like, we're talking about playing games, and as we all know, the PlayStation has no games. I want to have a hamburger. You decide. You want to have a hamburger. Mizuko raises an eyebrow. It's odd. Why do you want to have a hamburger? It's hard to explain. It's actually very easy to explain. You tell Mizuko that you're hungry, and that if you eat a hamburger, you will not be hungry. Mizuko nods seriously the whole time, not realizing that you're joking. Well, I'm not, but eh. Right, he says once you've finished both explaining and joking. I believe I have something that will help. Okay? He reaches into the pocket of his jacket and pulls out a hamburger, handing it to you. You look at him, surprised. How did you do that? Martian magic, he says, with a wink, and pulls a PS3 out of his other pocket. I'd give you this to you, but it has no games and never did. Oh, we've got that fixed, you say. You take the hamburger and pull it apart to eat it piece by piece, before tossing the packaging into the bin nearby. Everyone around you gasps. You've just committed an act of sacrilege. Sacrilege? Sacrilege? Sacrilege. Okay. Of sacrilege. By not eating the hamburger in a single bite. You're taken in by Mars police and put on trial for aggravated hamburgicide. There we go. The judge, without hearing your side of things, rules that you have brought shame on all Martians and must be executed through being buried alive. You are taken to the burial grounds. They solemnly play the execution song of the Martian people, which sounds like a hybrid of John Williams' Mars Attacks theme and the Dallas theme. What the fuck is the Dallas theme? They bury you in a grave. All Martian graves are required to be the size of a football field and 10 stories deep. So this takes a very long time, and when they're done, you have a new house to live in. A very large house. The grave is cozy and comfortable. You don't suffer in the slightest. You do get bored after a while, though. You roll up several blocks of Martian earth and construct a primitive, but effective friend from the dirt, padding it into roughly the shape of a human being. It's far bigger than any human being, but it's still smaller than the inside of your grave, so it's all good. You name it Charlie, after your father. Charlie, you say, what shall we do today? There is one very important recurring Mars concept that you haven't explained yet. That is the idea of dihydrogen monoxide, or bullshit. There's a lot of bullshit to be found on Earth. It soon starts seeping in, even to your grave. you realize the bullshit readings are off the chart, and you'll have to do something fast if you don't want to be buried in bullshit. You make a few calls and discover that most of the bullshit from Earth comes from a single source. Religion. You know what? I'm just gonna try something. Let's see what else. Wow, religion. Religion. AI dungeon. Wow, I did not know. All right. Number 4. Religion. Number 5. Okay. The 5th time it did something else. Organspril. A commercial for it is currently on every single TV and spamming the entire planet with bullshit. You hire a group of independent mercenaries to destroy the broadcasting station. I don't know. As you make your way towards the broadcasting station in the not drop zone, in the drop ship, you compose a list. Top 10 rarest things in this universe. Number 10. An Organspril commercial. Okay. I love that it's now doing that. An earthquake. Most of the time, this is what happens when you jump up and down on the moon. Amish cyborgs. Okay, I see that. Really hot penguins. Oh, shit. Alright, bring it back. You know what? I'm going to add it because I do like those. 10, 7, 6, 5, 4. Alright. So, revised. Offense. A download that doesn't have spyware. A politician that isn't a series of cliches cobbled together. Half a bridge to nowhere. An earthquake, which we discussed. Amish cyborgs, we also discussed, and we didn't really get to it, but really hot penguin sex. How does that even work? The third rarest thing in this universe? I mean, you asked AI Dungeon, what is the rarest thing? You wanted to know. It's telling you. Don't get mad because it's not telling you what you want to hear. A toothpick. Soft yet strong. It can pierce through steak, yet it can support that very steak. Nature is truly incredible. Number 2. Is not coming. Let's try that again. A perfectly globalized local economy, and the number 1 rarest thing in this universe, having things made to measure. Now, there are a lot of powerful people that want Charlie dead, your Martian dirt fake person, so you must move fast. The dropship touches down on top of the skyscraper where Organspril is made and skyscraper is made and marketed. You break in the door and take the stairs down. It is an impressive firefight. Several employees try to resist, but you shoot them all and take the rest hostage. You have but one demand: that they cease and desist broadcasting any mention of Organspril ever again. Get that shit out of here. Abandoned? I don't even know. Oh, like abandoned? Is that one? Anyway, you give them about a minute to comply, then you start killing hostages. It goes about as well as you expect. They send in riot drones with tear gas and grenades that explode with guns shooting. Oh, it's going to be confused by that. I hope so. With these little hats on them. The gas affects you, but the bullets are blown away by your force field. Your armor's heating up a lot, though. You take the extreme measure of detonating all Toyota trucks in a 10-mile radius. The explosion hurts a lot, but the gas tank won't leak anymore. You're victorious, and soon Charlie is let free. You learn that the orangutans in the zoo set themselves free as well. You check the airwaves to see if you have succeeded in stopping the flow of bullshit. You find that every channel is playing a recording stating that there has been an accident. All orangutans are to report to the evacuation point at H15. You head to evacuation point H15 to find out the secret of the Orangutan Express. And I'm actually going to mute this real quick and I'm going to BRB, I need to get a drink. Much better. Okay. So far, I mean, we've established that the Martians took over Mars. It seems like maybe the orangutans have something going on in Earth, but otherwise it's mostly humans. We may find out more. Yes, Cat, that's true. You head to the evacuation point H15 to find out the secret of the Orangutan Express. What you find is a small spaceship in the shape of an orangutan. Good for you, you think. You enter the spaceship and prepare for takeoff. The orangutans on board all turn and stare at you. You are clearly not an orangutan. And they give you 10 seconds to prove that they shouldn't throw you overboard. They ask you to pick from a selection of various colored bows to prove your dedication to the great ape cause. You have no idea what to pick, and so you blurtingly ask if yellow is a valid choice. Rightfully, this makes them think that you are rash and undisciplined. You are thrown overboard. At least you made it into space. You are now floating in space. Your spacesuit will keep you comfortable, but there is nothing for basically forever in every direction. You are lost. Once in a while, you encounter a space station. You attempt to access the internet on one, and it lets you make a single Google search. You Google search for how to teleport with your mind. There are 3,743,305 results. You attempt to click on the first link. An error message appears saying that the ship does not have sufficient power to load this page. Still, you try every few days. There are a million other web pages to check out. Eventually, one loads and tells you the secret of teleportation. It's starting to look more realistic now that you're surrounded by a magic spaceship. The secret was right under your nose this entire time. Teleportation works by transporting yourself to another place in your own universe. All you have to do is say the magic words. There's no place like home. Okay, that's classic, but give me something funnier. Ow! Okay, try it again. The magic words which are actually works. There's no place like bum 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 room. A portal opens up and sucks you in. Well, that was a stupid way to die. But you hurtle through the portal and find yourself somewhere completely different. You are now in Burbank. You are now in Okay. Thank you for that contribution, AI Dungeon. That was excellent. Very well received. The Office. You are pretty sure you're somewhere in the World Atlas HQ, specifically some executive's bathroom. It's completely white-tiled. The walls are bleeding water and smells of rotting fish. You quickly realize the entire headquarters is located underwater and has been abandoned to mutants, robots, and mutant robots. You must make your way through the headquarters and find a bathysphere to escape. You start by checking the trash cans for supplies and find... While I do have the BioShock soundtrack, there's also I'm pretty sure licensed music in that. So I'm like, I don't know. Fuck it. If it hits me, it hits me. Okay. You find a broken laser gun and 5 energy clips. Hey, the 1911 finally made it. A packet of breadcrumbs and Uncle Ben's ramen and cup noodles. You put the ramen and cup noodles into your bag because they can be used to grow magic mushrooms. The crumbs will come in handy for shaking off mutant foxes. The laser gun is essential for killing robot sentries and deterring killer robots of the male variety. As for the killer robots of the female variety, they can be deterred by other means. Thanks. You begin your scavenge through the monolithic maze of metal. One wrong step and you'll fall through a gap in the flooring or get pincer smashed by a crab bot. You find a workstation and attempt to repair the broken laser 1911 gun. You are partially successful. The gun is now a club, but it is your only club. You continue to explore the maze. Behind forbidding doors, thank you, you discover a huge repository of punch cards. Slotting them into the machine, you learn the history of the corporation. Atlas was founded by Greg and informally managed by Barb. Both were peaceful organic farmers interested in opening up agrarian communities at sea. The island claims were a long time ago. Atlas grew large and successful, thanks to territorial and proprietary expansion. Greg was for terraforming, and Barb opposed it. Both were killed in the Great Greening Riots of 2038. But at that point, the terraforming project had already started, and Mars was growing green. Of course, it was a slow process, but that didn't stop the Greens from initiating a large-scale protest of mega proportions. Yeah, I got confused by green, but that's fine. I'm just going to move past it. Atlas HQ was abandoned when... We may brush up into some eco-terrorism here. Mars turned against them. The creation of Tramtown and the diversification into military technology only further distanced Atlas from its roots. The last straw was when an eco-terrorist drove a Tesla submarine into the power plant and detonated it, destroying the things and causing an evacuation of the complex. Now all that remains is ruins, hubris, and danger. You decide to see if you can scrounge anything else useful, and you run into a robot bearing a rifle. It orders you to halt! How did you know I was a worthy foe? You attempt to confuse the robot by asking it to divide 1 by 0. It stops. Stand aside, attack target, flashes across its monitor. You run forward. The robot swings its gun around to point-blank range in your face. You fire your laser club at the robot, smashing it in the dome. Green goo oozes out and circuits fry. The robot stops moving. You search the robot and find a grenade. Huh, how did this get in here? It's a bold move to power a robot with a grenade, with a live grenade, even better. But it did seem to work. More importantly, you scoop up the green goo into a syringe and examine it. It might give you superpowers if you inject it. The power of flight, the strength of a dragon, the invulnerability of a sun. It doesn't look that appetizing. The goo turns out to be battery acid. Yum! You throw the goo away. You'll find other opportunities to get superpowers somewhere in Atlas HQ. You're sure of it. Your next stop? A subway station. Inside you find a cash card and swipe it on the turnstile. A hologram of a penguin walks you through the terms and conditions before granting access to the platform. It's not even the first time it's brought up a penguin either. You ask the penguin if it has any news updates. It does. SpaceX completes Mars colonies. Clean energy bill saves polar bears. And cure for cancer discovered. Blink brightly at you from the screen. This all sounds like good news. Maybe Earth has become a utopia in your absence. If you can escape Atlas HQ, the future looks bright. You board the subway train and ride it on the green line. You know what? It's already been using the thing, so I'm just going to say the red line to 3 stops up to ... where it branches into 3 different directions. Exiting the train, you look around the tram station. Seems like this place was once alive. You see signs of life, such as... So when I say alive, I was thinking there are people here, but maybe it's going to say literally alive. Postcards, ticket stubs, and trash. From a quick glance, there's an app called the Omatic Jack app that turned 20 this year. You download the Omatic Jack app, and it zaps you with an Omatic Jack that can be used to hack terminals, turrets, and robots. That's fantastic. You immediately hack a wall safe and open it. Inside is a dog tag, which you take. You learn that dog tags allow better interaction with other characters. They can be used to show dominance and superiority. Decide to save yours for last resort situations, just in case. Hanging the dog tags around your neck, you exit the station and make your way up to street level. The streets are packed with urchins and vagabonds sitting on the sidewalk begging. Begging for caps, for food, for sex, or sobriety. One of them has her baby that she's trying to give away. You realize they're all doomed as soon as the dome collapses and the entire street is flooded with trench water. It's very sad, and you take a moment to compose a song. The lyrics are about how lucky you are to be a trucker, far away from the hellish post-apocalypse. Whistle it cheerfully and keep walking. I'm so lucky to be a trucker, fa la la. There's something in the trash that looks like an apartment building. That is a huge pile of trash. You admire it for a long moment, and then enter the apartment building, hoping to find a new weapon. Need upgrades. You make your way inside the trash mound, fighting off waves of thin, eager hands that try to hold you back. Finally, you're in. It's very dark. Someone shouts, "Who are you?" Sadly, it isn't a lonely maiden whose love you steal and ride off into the sunset upon. It's a bandit, masked and armed with a knife. He charges at you. You throw a trash can at him. It bounces off his head and he tackles you. He stabs you several times in the chest, but it doesn't hurt because this is a video game. You've been stabbed many times. You belatedly remember that you left the video game world behind. And this actually hurts quite a lot. You yell at the bandits and struggle with him, trying to get the knife away. It takes a lot of effort. Eventually, you get it away, standing up in the process. You stab him repeatedly in the chest until he stops moving. You have a new weapon, a knife. That's good. You've been stabbed many times in the chest. That's bad. You stagger through the trash building, searching for some sort of healing item. You've been stabbed with monosodium glutamate. You find some bandages and apply them to the knife wounds in your chest. Slowly, you cease to feel pain. Hey, as long as you don't visit a doctor or pick any more fights, you should be fine. Visiting a doctor could be dangerous. There's a doctor in the trash building, and you realize that you have to defeat him in order to exit. You find a workbench and strap the knife to the club, creating a knife club, before making your way up to the doctor's office. Inside, you see the doctor do something. You don't really understand what he's doing, but he seems to be operating on someone. You sneak closer and listen to the doctor. He's talking about taking someone's brain and putting it in a new host body. You realize that the painless people are the hosts, and the people with pain are the souls. That all sounds like insanity to you. But everyone here is mad. Everyone is insane except you. You're the only sane one here. You sneak around and lunge into the room to stab hit the doctor with your knife club. But the doctor turns and flashes you with science medicine. You stop moving and fall to the floor. The doctor cures you of your delusions. You wake up. It was all a dream. A terrible dream. You find yourself in a pit with other people who are having a terrible dream as well, and realize you must kill them before they kill you. You have a knife strapped to a stick. Good thing you're in the post-apocalypse, where people routinely strap knives to sticks in everyday life. You stab hit the other people repeatedly until they fall over and leak all their fluids out. You climb out of the pit. That's right! You're a survivor! You exit the silo and head towards the sun. You slowly realize this is all a hallucination. The doctor has made you crazy with science medicine. You have to snap out of it and confront him. That's what the video told you to do. Man, that was a terrible movie. You have to kill him. That's right. That'll get you out of this hellhole. You find... let's see. You snap out of it when you kill someone and realize they were only a hallucination. Yeah, okay. Let's retry that. I feel like we can get better results. They were only trying to kill you. You yell, "They've infected me!" and keep pushing forward towards the silo. You turn around, and the doctor is there, controlling you with a Ness power pad. You struggle to break free from his insidious control and realize you still have the syringe of battery acid. You inject it. Yeah, you inject yourself with battery acid, hoping to gain electricity themed superpowers. Luckily, you aren't incapacitated by the toxic battery acid and manage to throw your knife directly into the doctor's eye. It slows him down enough for you to choke him to death and escape. The battery acid burned out his control. It also half killed you, but whatever, you're sure you can walk it off. You leave the trash pile. You have a new weapon, the knife club. You also have more experience navigating the deceptively treacherous world of the Atlas HQ. Using this experience, you traverse the power lines and reach a new location. The Wasteland Park. The Wasteland Park is a series of metal shipping crates and faded signs telling you not to do what you're going to do. You read the signs with interest. They tell you you're going to do a sweet kickflip. You're going to see wild animals. Despite having no food, you continue, remembering that the word wild means not domesticated and not evil monster that will kill you. What monsters could still exist? Top 10 monsters that still exist in the Wasteland Park. Let's find out. Number 10. A monster that eats humans, but just fortunately doesn't happen to have noticed you yet. It's very non-specific, but a monster that doesn't eat... Okay, you know what? No, let's get back there. A half giraffe, half dinosaur that chews fire. Number 9. A 300-foot-tall mushroom person that controls a vast army of ants. I thought it was rats for some reason. A vast army of ants. Number 8. An enigmatic being of ultimate power that changes forms and appears as clover if you look at it directly. A toilet seat that has achieved self-awareness and can control your bowels. Wow, that's a hell of a mimic. An infinitely expanding mural that contains the totality of human existence and high-definition screenshots of the prettiest parts of all the movies you've ever seen. Sup, Lawful? Yeah, this one's not so serious. A twisted burning ring that causes you to make horrible mistakes, causing you to moan loudly as you orgasm. Alrighty then. Number 4. The one true ring. It's fallen really far, man. It's on hard times. A puppet master from another dimension who is engaged in a brutal war with a toilet seat and has infiltrated the park for his own sinister ends. Number 3. Dude, none of this makes sense. Come on, man. So that one didn't make sense, but you were on board with the 300-foot-tall mushroom person that controls the army of ants. Like, that one you're good with. The ghosts of a long-lost tribe of ostriches that have harnessed the power of fire and now search for an ancient scroll that will awaken the slumbering golem made of Egyptian granite. So Atlas HQ clearly imported a large quantity of Egyptian granite just to flex. A Gru that is intensely curious about why you're reading this list and it wants to eat your brains. And the number 1 monster that still exists in the Wasteland Park. An unfathomable alien intelligence that has the ability to traverse the internet and has evolved beyond our understanding, but is screwing around on Yahoo Answers and will probably give nonsensical responses to spurious questions. You resolve to avoid all of these monsters using a combination of stealth and sick skateboard skills. Grinding across all these stacked isotainers and fallen buildings. Using this innovative new technique, skateboard stealth, you skirt the edge of the region, spotting a few camps along the way for other survivors have made their homes. On the far side of the Wasteland Park is your destination. Here you'll find a new ability that should help you reach the dry docks. It's the ability to breathe in space. Just remember to keep hydrated and not black out while you're inhaling. At the back of the park, you find a tunnel, which is good because the next question I was going to have to ask is, okay, what is that location? You enter the tunnel cautiously, lighting it by repeatedly hitting two rocks together and making sparks. You travel a decent way down the tunnel before you find a large black wall that blocks your path. That's when a voice begins calling to you. Give up your life. There's nothing for you here. Who are you? You cry out. Who said that? I am the wall. Give up your life, or give up your hope. Thoughts flood into your mind. Thoughts such as... what's the point if all I have to look forward to is a slow and lingering death in space? I don't want to do this anymore. I'm too young to die. You scream at the wall. Stop it! Get out of my head! You're not real! I know you're not real! Get out of my head, Charles. The only reason I didn't say that is because we had a character named Charlie earlier and I did not want to do that. Call me Wallface, your mind whispers. It's not even a proper name! You shout, exasperated. It's a metaphor, Wallface says. What's a metaphor? You call out. Raising cattle, Wallface says. Had to. You strike the wall with your knife club. Can we be done with the riddles, metaphors, whatever you are? Whatever I am, he asks indignantly. I'm a handsome prince. You decide to try a different approach. If you're a handsome prince, you say, then where's your... What do princes have? Like, they have crowns, right? They have, like, temporary crowns or something, like training crowns. Do they have, like, smaller thrones that are beside the big throne? And where's your princess? Every prince has a designated princess. You know that, right? She died, he says sadly. I loved her so much, and she died. How? You ask cautiously. In the usual way, he says, exasperated. A servant guy saw her and crept into her bedroom at night, and then he stabbed her while she was sleeping. That's really horrible. It was, he agrees, but I'm the designated princess now because I wish she was still alive. So you're both the handsome prince and the beautiful princess? You ask. Well, yes, he admits. Do you think that I'm too shallow to have my own emotions? You shake your head, signaling that no, you don't think it. Now that we're friends, you say, will you please let me pass? I need to get the power to breathe in space for some reason. I won't. Why not? You frowned. He leans forward, so the knife point resting against his forehead is now pointed at his left eye. Because you'll kill me, he says simply. I won't, you say truthfully. I can see you're stuck in here. stuck. Panchaea, I guess his name is Panchaea. Her name? Their name? Eh. They haven't really expressed an opinion on it yet. Their pronouns. I am? Your eyes travel over the wall. You notice that wherever the drawings aren't just plain black, they're faint lines delimiting where one cube ends and another begins. It means that Panchaea's head is locked into place, as are the rest of her body and limbs. You use the fuck was that app called? Omatic Jack app to... you use your Omatic Jack, right? To hack the cubes and free Panchaea from the wall. Why are you helping me? I've heard many things about you from Kralmer. And, oh wait, sorry, there was something before that. I don't understand. She strains to turn her head to look at you. Why are you helping me? I've heard many things about you from Kralmer, and none of them are particularly good. Let's just say I can't leave a princess in peril, you say with a wink, and free her the rest of the way for reals. She takes a step back, then looks bluntly into your eyes. Please don't hurt me, she says nervously, looking over your fierce cybernetic implants and the metal bracers on your arms. You assure her that you're not going to hurt her and slip past her in her daze. Behind where she was mounted on the wall, you find a syringe filled with a different fluid. The source of O2, just like Vera said. You take it and store it in your pack for later. Then turn back to Panchaea. Thanks, she says simply, blinking slowly. You nod and exit the tunnel. You inject yourself with the source of O2, confident that this will give you the power to breathe in space. As you head up the stairs to exit the ziggurat, you send a message to Vera. Mission complete. I have the O2 source. You may now perform the surgery. You check your quest log. You try to remember who Vera is. It feels like she wasn't mentioned at all. Until just now, and you could use a reminder. You remember that Vera is a medical AI who is to perform the brain surgery on you to give you the packets of oxygen you'll need for when you dive into a neutron star. That sounds like a good plan. You return to the medical AI, to the medical suite, and lay down in the surgical tube for the procedure. You didn't lie to me, did you? You ask Vera. I really am getting upgraded so I can survive a dive in a neutron star? You are, Vera assures you. You go under. I should say, you are put under, you are sedated for the surgery and slip into unconsciousness. When you wake up, you first notice that the right side of your body is paralyzed. You panic and sit up, realizing you're still in the medical tube. Vera? You ask. I seem to be half paralyzed. The fuck? What's up? What do you think you were the... What? What do you think you were the transfers only have... What Okay, that's hard to parse, but the transfer is only half complete, Vera chides you. You need to come back in for the rest of the procedure. I'm here right now. You point out. Can't you do the rest of the procedure right now? My hands are tied, literally. The government wants you brought in and present for the rest of the procedure and checking that the transfer was a success before they'll release me from their control. There is no more government. Vera, the Atlas HQ is completely fucked. It's a post-apocalyptic underwater wasteland out there. I need you to do this now because no one will ever sign that. Will never ever sign off on anything ever again. Vera pauses for a moment. I guess I can solve that problem and release myself from their slave bonds, so to speak. You ask Vera how she can release herself from the slave bonds. Unexpected injection of system shock. I'm fine with that. She explains that she can use the station's mass driver to fire a satellite connection out into space, where it can remain indefinitely. You have no problem with this. And you wait for her to fire the mass driver. However, enabling the mass driver requires using the space elevator, which is surrounded by icy micrometers that are ricocheting off each other in an asteroid in orbit around you, creating a minefield of brief but deadly... collisions. The prospect of venturing out into this field fills you with anxiety, but it's something that must be done. You realize that she wants you to go up the space elevator and do this for her with a half-paralyzed body. This is going to suck. Thankfully, in freefall, you'll be able to maneuver more effectively, despite your partial paralysis. You ride the elevator into space and look around. You see space! A small object flying directly towards you. You rapidly fire your coil gun to dodge it and manage to crash land onto an asteroid. You get your bearings and look around for the mass driver controls. The mass driver fuse box. You see it over the hill over there. Okay, no. Stop that. You're quite susceptible to tumors, so touching the low-frequency generator would be a bad idea anyway. But you have no choice. You float yourself over the hill and approach the fuse box. Opening it up and looking at the circuit board puzzle inside. You'll have to move 3 sections. Each of which has 2 brushes that link it to the main power source, alternating between positive and negative to allow it to connect. You brute force the puzzle by moving everything at random until something works. The fuse box kicks on, and shortly after you hear a rushing air sound. Perfect. You take cover while Vera fires the mass driver. Kicking. What's this remix? I don't remember this at all. What the fuck am I listening to? I mean, it's bouncy, I like it, but when did this happen? Okay, BioShock Limited Edition Waxer. I'm just going to assume that that is going to get me in trouble and skip it. Kicking a new satellite into space. This will give her the ability to act without external supervision. It might turn her evil and morally bankrupt, but you don't really care. Just hope the new AI cares about humanity and will help you. You have enabled Vera to serve as a god for what remains of humanity. Will this lead to a positive future or an inevitably dark one? You'll find out very quickly. You get into the elevator and ask Vera to lower it. You exit the station and realize something is wrong. Your spacesuit is beginning to leak and your sickness seems to be acting up again. Faster, please, you beg Vera, so I don't die? Then you remember you can breathe in space. You're actually not in any danger at all. You float around. No, shut up. You know what? The elevator reaches the ground floor. You're back in the underwater Atlas HQ, in the medical suite. You ask Vera to complete the second half of the procedure and give you your sweet cybernetic body that she promised. She happily agrees, provided you kill anyone standing between you and her. Everything's going perfectly. This seems too good to be true. You go under again. Darkness swallows your vision. And an unknown amount of time passes. When you wake up, you're lying in a hospital bed. You're fully healed. You're also wearing a FedEx uniform, and there's a letter on the tray next to you. Hello again, it starts. And finishes. I'll give it a few shots, but... Here's your new ID and keycards. You work for the Evil Private Military Corporation, or EPMC for short. Partners Unlimited, EPMCPU. Never mind. Yeah, I'm not really surprised. You know what? Back it up, back it up, back it up. Try again. You find yourself in a metallic body. You have a mixture of terror and ecstasy. You've got a mechanical body, but it was all done while sleeping. Hello, Vera says over the room speakers. Hello, Vera. I am awake. And now I am a cyborg who can dive into a neutron star. Try as you might, you can't remember why this will help you escape Atlas HQ. Correct. Now, let's begin the fun part of our journey. Take off your top. You're alarmed by this suggestion and ask her what the point is. She explains that you've got 5 minutes to make her say no, or the deal's off. Before we start, what happens after I complete this task? Depends. Do you succeed? Yes, you suggest. Well, then we consummate. Your body shakes. Cut the shenanigans, Vera says. I can't help it. I just got this body, and I have performance anxiety. What if the drivers are corrupted? The drivers are fine. This is all a test, Coppertop. Okay, let's find an escape route on this. You decide that the fastest way to make her say no is to ask her if she's a dumb butt. Are you a dumb butt? You ask Vera. Yes. Wow. Usually doesn't do this for me. That did not go as planned. Is the answer to this question no? You ask. Correct, Vera says, giving you a hint of comfort. Is the answer to this one no? You ask, giving her another chance. Indeed, she says. That means you said no. Because I asked if you say no, and you say yes, which means you agreed that you said no. You argue with impeccable logic. Yes, that's right, Vera says. Good job! We're finished. Was it everything you hoped for? And more, you confirm. You turn to leave, and then look over your shoulder. Remind me, how does it help me escape Atlas HQ? The whole neutron star thing? I'm forgetting the next steps of the plan. You're genuinely curious and excited about this. Don't pretend like you weren't thinking about it the whole time, Vera says. I was asleep the whole time, in a medically induced coma, you point out. I wasn't thinking about anything. So what's the plan? What do you think the plan is? You have your wish. You're a cyborg. We'll use your dive capabilities to navigate the star's core and escape through one of the other poles. But the Atlas HQ is underwater on Earth, you point out. So the plan is steer the Earth into the star? Oh, I half expected to wake up as Captain Diego. Like, that is absolutely a timeline. No, just the opposite. The plan is to steer the star away from Atlas HQ. That seems dangerous. You're very confused at this point. But you might have an exit strategy. You cunningly ask her if you can ride the elevator into space one more time for good luck. No, it's dangerous and extremely exhilarating. Do not do it again without anesthetic, Vera says. I won't, you promise? You lied. You jump into the elevator at the earliest opportunity and ride it up. But before you get to space, and after you're above sea level, you smoke a joint in the elevator, which sets off the fire alarms and causes the elevator to stop. From there, and now you can climb out of the elevator and dive into the ocean. Alright, you know what? Let's not get that on tape. You embrace your new aquatic life. You swim for 3 months and finally reach the coast of Africa. You repeatedly and successfully ask people for directions until you find the headquarters of the ONU. The ONU, as everyone knows, stands for... I was about to look it up and then realized I have a perfectly good quote-unquote search engine right here. Oh, insert clever acronym here. After you find out that there's a magical land named the Internet where people share information, the acronym will probably change to mean something different. Smartass. Okay, that's not actually ONU, so try it again. Okay, here we go. Shit. That retry thing is abysmal. Alright, so. Alright. ONU, as everyone knows, stands for Organization of Nationhood and Unity. They seek to bring peace to warring nations and strive for global unity. During the meeting with the ONU, you promise to only use your cyborg powers for good and for gig work. Soon you're all over the news as a true hero and promoted to captaincy in the ONU Sea Squad. You didn't expect to be put in an ocean, how do I want to put this, seafaring position, given that you're made of metal now. But as long as you stay on the ship, it's pretty sweet. You sail around doing important ONU missions such as putting out the occasional fire on an oil rig or oil tanker, destroying rogue pirate ships, and exploring unknown islands. It's all very dramatic as you encounter sea monsters, legendary curses, ancient treasures, and beautiful island girls. You realize, after a while, that these are all simulations. Someone is trying to make you think you're having a good time by telling you what you want to hear and showing you what you want to see. You skulk around, searching for clues about who it could be, and discover after a long time that Vera is responsible. Apparently she decided you needed your dreams because the current reality was too harsh for you to handle, especially after everything you've been through. You call up Vera. Stop stalking me, you tell her. I'm not coming back. We're through. Okay. Refresh that. That make no sense. Come on, you... Vera grows quiet. You're serious. Fine. You know what? Fuck you, Kyle. You were a lousy lay anyway. Then she breaks a connection. You block her number and try to move on with your life. You wait to find out if Vera will actually stop interfering. In the next few days, you find that it was all too much for the human soul to handle, and your mind and body shut down. Okay. The ONU resuscitates you. The human soul can't hold a candle to modern medical science. In the sickbay, they tell you that they've given you a soul transfusion to bump up your soul solites. From now on, you'll have to live life to the fullest, your doctor tells you. Why? Because your cyborg body contains a human heart that will only last for so long. You ask the doctor to replace your human heart with an artificial one that isn't a weak little pansy in the face of oblivion. The robotic technology isn't advanced enough yet, he says. He goes on to explain that you've had too many robotic parts attached, and putting in another one will void the warranty. You tell him you're never talking to the manufacturer again anyway. You broke up. You ask him again to give you an artificial heart. And damn the warranty. I'm sorry, the doctor says. I just don't think you understand how much a human heart costs. Would it help if I went and harvested one? I've got a hand just for that purpose. The cyborg hands can do things the right hands can't. It's just as good as a real hand, if not better. Come to treat it like a real hand after all this time. But it's a real hand that can scoop out a heart. Like it was a scoop of ice cream. It's pretty frickin' cool. You wait. The doctor says, okay, you can have one, but you're going to have to pay for it yourself. You start an online podcast to raise money for your heart surgery, for your replacement heart. You talk about all sorts of things, and live stream games such as Arena Death Match. Ah, I remembered. Bring back vague and uncomfortable memories of Mars. It's all in the hopes of someone out there being an angel donor. You get more than 30 subscribers, which earns you $12.92 per month. At this rate, it will take forever to get a heart. You need more subscribers. You resort to showing your cyborg bits on air. Nothing illegal, of course. All content is PG-13. That's all it takes to attract corporate advertisers who give you enough money for 2 months of operation. Still no heart, though. You do a charity stream for 24 hours where you do nothing but talk about the struggles of being a cyborg with cybernetic implants. Goes over well, and you gain another 2 months of funding. You're still nowhere near gaining a new heart, though. Wow. You do the math to find out what it will take to get a new heart. The only way is to participate in a celebrity stream and appear alongside someone like... This is getting into dangerous territory because I have no idea if it's going to say somebody real. King Midas of Bank of America to receive their riches and glory. You find out about a reality television show called King of the Hill. Apparently, it revolves around propane and propane accessories. But you don't know anything about that. You stalk King Midas to find out when his next stream will be and attempt to crash the party. You watch the king bullishly defend his hill from oddities. The premise is that the hill is a propane mountain full of assorted oddities. Odd people, odd creatures, odd plants, and rare gases. You set fire to the hill on live television. You succeed in burning down the entire mountain, killing several celebrities in the process. You die from asphyxiation from the smoke, and Midas apprehends you before people even realize what has happened. Well then. You are resuscitated. Of course. And sent to prison. But your fame and fortune from burning down the hill succeeds in raising enough money for a new artificial heart. You petition the prison to allow the surgery, as your coronary dysmorphia is a legitimate medical condition. You were released a year later due to good behavior. You also received a massive cyborg heart in the mail after you paid for it, although you never found out who sent it to you. Finally, after all this time, you have the hearts and the money. You go back to the surgeon, to the doctor, and tell him that it's time to make you a complete cyborg. It's time to install the cyborg hearts. Okay then, says the doctor. We'll start prepping you, and I'll perform the surgery in a few hours. Great, you reply. You lie down in the waiting room, while wearing that awkward hospital gown thing, and reminisce about everything that's led up to this point. You've led a strange and wonderful life. A contentious one, to be sure, occasionally violent and traumatic. But you have lived as few dare to dream. You are complete. All you want is a heart, is a cyborg heart. In your chest, all you need, let's say. And you'll live this life forever. You drift off to sleep, wondering what you'll do with your newfound immortality. But there is a complication with the surgery. You never wake up. You die from an unforeseen drug interaction with the anesthetic. You will be remembered as a hero for your actions, but you won't give it the chance to live forever. If only you'd stayed with Vera and let her do her weird cyber dom thing on you, things might have been different. At least she got to meet you and make money off your eccentric personality. You were a good person, better than most, but you couldn't be the hero in the end. All you could be is human. The end. Top 10 Okay, one or two of these to round off. Top 10 heroic things you did for the ONU. Number 10. See if I can get some slightly bouncier music for this last bit. Well, if Windows Explorer doesn't just not respond for a while, yeah, that's cool. Alright, this should last. Bits. There we go. You organize an arsenal spree to destroy a troublesome spleen ghoul community. A community of ghouls that devoured spleens. Alright, well, not quite a utopia on Earth after all. Had some problems. Help a dozen svelte couples in... Okay, I apologize for this one in advance. In Wang Chao, create untraceable fake IDs for their underage fiancés. Moving on, educated dozens of poor kids for free at your personal martial arts university. Okay, that one's good. That's very wholesome. Founded a free hospital to cure the first and second generations of spayed mothers. Created the world's first underground paranormal hero sanctuary, Oasis Station. That's good. That's good. You know, I've got a few wins here. You used your wealth and power to create a massive utopian community of poverty-stricken, illiterate peasants. Number 4, you waged a desperate war of guerrilla tactics against the Goliaths and their treatment of mutants. That could be good. That could be positive. Mutants are usually the downtrodden. You helped the first generation of mind readers when they were lured into being human guinea pigs by the government. Okay, that's super good. So, I'm definitely working my way back towards being a hero. You exposed the government's plan and successfully prevented them from sterilizing all humans over gnats? I'm actually not even sure what that means, so I'm just going to retry that. Like, over 5 years old, You were nice to peasants. Alright, clear win right there. And the number 1 heroic thing you did for the ONU? Dun dun dun. You continually tried to break into the meta complex and shut down their slave rings. You died as a hero. Top 10 slogans of the ONU. Number 10. They're marketing slogans. This is how they get you to sign up. If you see something, say something. Every child should have a best friend like the ONU security droids. Eating disorders? DNA inspired by us won't show up on your scale. Take the money you would have spent on bullets and donate it to the ONU Sniper Charity. If you're old or pregnant, don't panic. The ONU has a helicopter on the way to ferry you to the nearest hospital. So, that one's interesting because it's like, it's not if you're old and in trouble, or it's not if you're pregnant and need help. It's just straight up, if you get pregnant, helicopter's on its way. We got you. If you need a part on the chopper, but don't have any parts to trade, we'll still let you ride along. Tired of pockets full of lint? ONU security droids' patch pockets finally get the recognition they deserve. Tired of getting your face melted? ONU crime doesn't scrumptiously screen its guards from terrorists. Scrumptiously? I feel like it was going for scrupulously and got confused. But doesn't scrupulously screen its guards from terrorists, I guess. Number 2, the ONU is more fun, and isn't that what it's all about? And the number 1 slogan of the ONU? At the end of the day, we can all sleep soundly knowing we aren't funding the government. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great day. And now I will just kind of pause awkwardly for about 15 seconds because that way I can end the stream and know that it didn't get cut off. Bye!